Politricks watch. This is Sir B. Today, we have another uncomfortable video. Right. We're going to talk about the original deadbeat dad. Long time deadbeat dad. You'd have heard the narrative that Jamaican men, and when them say Jamaican men, what them really mean is black men. Right. The business more than picnic. Read off, woman and left, woman for stuffer. And I'm not delusional enough to tell you that don't happen. Of course you know that happen. It happen far too often. Even if it was just 10%, that would be 10% too much. But that's not the full picture, is it? The truth is, enough time when I hear a woman say this, them choose the worst type of man to get pregnant for, even the man have a history of being a deadbeat dad. Right? If them attracted to him or they think him have swag, then he still go breed. Right? And then walk and say all Jamaican man are dirty man. Man the business more than pick me. Right? We know so Jamaican men go to great lengths to support them picking them family. The thing is, they either don't talk about those men or they don't want them because they might say them lame or them not have enough hype or whatever. But you know which deadbeat dad people completely overlook? Billy Joe. When Billy Joe breed off Jamaican woman, left them to suffer the picking them. Right. They're no business because what them get from Billy Joe is worth more than silver and gold. And that is some European features. We're gonna get real uncomfortable today. Real uncomfortable. When we realize when we love, right, the little lazy thinking and the little easy narratives them for swallow. Right. So you say you can't get stronger by making somebody else lift the weights. Well, when you get stronger, you have to get uncomfortable. You don't want too much comfort. This is why I want to keep a look for this leader from the heavens who are going to make like just go in a power and then only can just live on the life as an if still be as acidic. Right? Still have the whole heap of unwanted, loveless, hugless pitting them, still follow back at the acidity, still love the badness, still support your favorite criminal. You want to do all of this? Right? Still want to be obsessed with instant gratification and only living for the moment. You want to do all of this? And then some magical leader will just come save you now work. Because the things we are going to need to do for build a nation and comfortable. There is no strength, right, in comfort. When you lift weights, right, I come from a physical background, right. From here start growing the arm, or physical. Right. Some know about lifting weights, some know about carrying weight and all them things. You know about rough life, chip up knee and them things. Comfort are one of the worst things when it comes on to growth. When you lift a 10 pound weight, go into the gym and take up a 10 pound weight. If you're a full grown adult, right, it should feel real easy. Go in a gym and lift up 10 pound weight every day, not enough. Just stay here. If you really want to get stronger, you know how you get stronger? When you lift heavier weights, right, it causes little tears in the muscle and them thing, little fibers and get a little rip here and there. And then when them they heal, they get stronger and your muscle get bigger and you can now carry more weights because the body say, okay, I need to get stronger to carry 100 pounds. So I'm going to get a little stronger, but the muscle get a little bigger. That's why when you're in the gym and you really at work, you start make some sound. Like I tell you to the pan. It's a little uncomfortable business there. That's the real growth come from, but no wonder. Well, that also apply to knowledge and everything, information. Some things that will make you uncomfortable, them things they make any real growth. One of the uncomfortable topics in Iron Man is the one that surrounds ethnicity, race, whatever you want to call it. Because you know the matter already out of many one people. And that's cool. I mean, it sounds good, but in reality, that's how it works. I don't really so it work. The quote-unquote ugly truth about the quote-unquote pretty Jamaicans. I say quote-unquote because most of it is really embedded narratives, right, that have been embedded in the brain of the people, right, for decades, centuries now, about what make somebody quote-unquote pretty and make somebody quote-unquote ugly. So I say pretty and ugly, but I take it too literal. Full disclaimer. Listen, people can date who they want. You see a Chinese woman and you like her and she like you, are used to one. A Mexican or used to one. French woman are used to one. White woman are used to one. Black. You can do what you want to do. People have them preference. People like this, some people like that. That in itself is no problem, but let's be clear here. Enough things people are disguised as preference is really self-hate and buffoonery. We're going there. Preferences, I like girl we have big titty, right, and a little perk bumper. Preferences, I like girls are short or like girls are tall. Or your woman say them like man with thick or them like man with mager. Right? Them think that preference. That's your preference. You can like that. Some women say them like the man who have the more chocolate complexion. Some women say them like man with brown. That's fine in itself. That's preference. But here where the problem starts to arise. Especially as it relates to color and things. When you brand all white or light as pretty and all black or dark as ugly, that in itself is no longer preference. That's not preference. White equal pretty and black equal ugly is not preference. Preferences, let me tell you what preference is. Preferences, I prefer women with longer hair. But if you see a woman with shorter hair will look good, you can acknowledge her beauty. That is preference. So you can say a woman can she like maga man, but her brother over there is a thick. She's like, yeah man, him look good, but I just not for me. When you start to brand everything as no, once it falls in this category it's ugly, then that now is no longer preference. I'm saying especially when it comes down to the whole matter of color, now you're going down the self-hate and buffoonery because the people who often say these things often look like the people who them say them hate. That's why I say self-hate, you know. So enough darker skinned people will tell you say dark skin ugly. That's why I say that's not preference, that's self-hate. That's buffoonery. Going down a real spooky territory now. And I'm not even a fan of the word ugly, to be honest. I prefer aesthetically challenged. Sound more sophisticated. Ugly is a really ugly word. But I'm not delusional. Some people are more attractive than others. In nature, whole heap of things in the nature unfair, you know. Right, whole heap of things that if you notice in the nature, some animals bigger and stronger than others. Right. Some men, right, born, right, 6 feet tall, other man born 4 foot 10, right, and can barely even put his foot over one bicycle. Right, if you send up on bicycle, his foot then can't touch the ground. Right, that shorter man I have a harder time I get girls. Life, nothing in life is unfair. Right. And nature don't equally distribute enough things. When we talk about nature, we don't talk about man yet. Right. The same thing applies for looks. Some people are just more attractive than others. Let me say, I'm not delusional. And this is even when you put them amongst their own, like even if you separate people amongst ethnicities or whatever and just put them amongst their own group, there's just some people who are gonna be like, yeah, man, that's a fine looking woman right there. Stand out from the rest. Some people just have it. Whatever it. I don't know how to describe it, but some people just have it. And some people are harder to look at. But enough of this, I'd say, is actually stemming from a colonial mindset that Bakra's features equal pretty and the African features are considered ugly. And if you really want to prove this, you can do what I call the eye test. Just use your own eye them. Somebody who, let's use the German them since we're talking about them. somebody who is mixed with Germans and have, might have a lighter eye complexion or straighter hair. Some of them are very attractive, but some of them, when that mix don't come out good, some of them can come out looking like an iguana. But even if they look like an iguana, they are still considered pretty. Because sometimes the mixture produce, let's just say, interesting results. But regardless of the results, once that person is much lighter than a quote-unquote black somebody, then they are considered pretty. That's when we realize, we're not using the eye test. We're not going off what our eyes see. We're going off of what we accept and what has been ingrained in this conscious and subconscious of the people there. Them 2-3 features that equal pretty in itself, even though what I'm seeing in front of me, a person is no beauty queen. So a lot of what people call ugly is down to ingrained beliefs instilled in the mind. Tell about mindset, passed down the line. One of the main one of them is that black equal ugly. And don't worry, I get to Billy Joe being a deadbeat dad. But tell them say Baccarat play chess because the mindset that's black equal ugly right across the board. Once say black you're ugly, especially if you have traditionally black features. The reason I say Baccarat play chess is because first Baccarat help instill that on the plantation, and then the same black people them pass it down to their children. So now Baccarat is not even alive to walk around and tell people this. Other black people do it for him. Many Jamaican people to this day, enough black people to this day, still beat them, pitting them and telling them they're black and ugly. And then favor them pooper, and then this and then that, and then lip look like this, and then nose look like this, and then hair look like this, and the hatred for self is transferred to the child from black to black. Baccarat don't even debut again. Or at least not in that form. But not on the plantation of that era. Different plantation now. But that's chess. When you can get people to pass down your ideology, fear, that is the ultimate chess game right now. And this belief, black is ugly, is not even unique to Jamaica. It's, remember, colonization is not unique to Jamaica or even the Caribbean. You can find this belief in Africa, India. India is a very interesting country. Okay? In India, you have Indians who are like blacker than a black African, and then you have Indians who are like whiter than a white European. It's a very interesting society. And they have a caste system, and the whiter they are is the more they are celebrated and idolized. That you find everywhere, even in Asia, you find it. Globally, white is right. Like most of Iron history, it has been whitewashed. Get it? The unflattering parts removed and certain narratives promoted. Let's go back to the 1830s. In 1833, the British abolished or began to abolish slavery across their vast empire. This was done by the Slavery Abolition Act 1833. It was followed up shortly by the Slave Compensation Act 1937. Now this sound like, when you hear the name, you think to yourself, Slave Compensation Act, that sound like the slaves are going to get paid for the labor they were them do before, right? That's what it sound like. Look on your screen. This is a UK source, this Bank of England. The British will tell you this. It's not a secret. But the only time I say this, one message me, I run me down. All my followers take 5 minutes. You realize enough Jamaicans will research all day on the internet who they will breed for who, but they will not spend 5 minutes researching nothing. Of no value. You don't have time for that boring and lame. It's real. The Slave Compensation Act of 1927 was set up not to compensate the slaves, but to compensate the slave owners. Do you know why they could do this? Because of the law. Oh, this is what house Negroes. This is what house Negro agents, right, tell the field Negroes. We need the British because the British historically have been so great at upholding justice and fairness, and the British are good. Is that so? The Slave Compensation Act compensated the slave owners for losing their quote-unquote property. The law supported owning humans, like property. So when time the law come back and say, you have to Lego, them slave there, the slave owners now by law were entitled to compensation. So the law supported owning humans and compensated Bakra for losing what was legally his. The slave was legally a property of his master. Did they tell you that in your many law courses? That should be on the wall for the gate when you walk through the Norman Manley Law School. Just a reminder that the law is not based on virtue. It's not based on compassion. The law, especially British laws, have never been rooted in any kind of fairness and justice. That's bull. Right? That's house Negro talk. Right? That's what they tell. That's what the custodian class, after they recruit the house Negroes, they then go and teach the field Negroes that, oh well, we need to keep the British system because the British law has always been. No, it has not. They had to pay Bakra for him things them. What were his things them? People. So when some bootlicking tap dancing house Negro told me, well, I don't care about, the case, yes, what you're saying makes sense and that is logical, but at the end of the day, the law is the law. The law is the law. I shake my head. As if these are divine words from the heaven sent to save us. That's why I question laws. The law is the law. If that attitude was adopted, slavery would never end. Women still wouldn't be able to vote. All kind of things would still. It's because people realize that the law is written by a man and man fallible. So over time laws get shuffled around and moved around and this get replaced by this and that. This is why I'm telling you that laws must be relevant for the times and the issues you deal with. In 200 years, Jamaica might not need no anti-gang. In 200 years, Jamaica Firearm Act might become completely different. In 200 years, we might have, we're very extremely, that in 200 years or maybe 100 years, but right now we need a serious anti-gang. We need a serious this. We can't just have some law from 50 years ago, but well, that's what the law said. No, it must change and adapt to the crisis and the issues we're dealing with now. They act, and what's the worst part? They know this. You want me to know so them know this? Because when Big C dropped, remember there was already the disaster relief act and all them things in place. What them do? Them go back and modify it again, make it get even wickeder. Make it get even more serious because them say, oh well, now we're facing a new threat. So, make we get wickeder. They don't apply that law to crime though. But you find that strange? When it comes on to crime and gangs, they say, no, we don't need all those serious. We already have some laws in place. Because them fear Big C, but them not fear Klansman because of them link with Klansman and Klansman hire them to fight them case for them. Remember, as Chris Legend said, well, your favorite lawyer, they're the perfect conduit. So, when the custodian class recruit their house Negroes, right, they tend to handpick them from places like UWI, Norman Manley Law School and them places. This is the first thing I'm driving in them head. Right? The law is the law. The British law is the way and the light. And anybody question it, right, them off them head clean. And remind them say them now in the law school and remind them say they don't have no degree from the law school and they weren't called to the bar. This is how they nurture the next generation, who then go on to form all the narratives in academia. When you hear Jamaicans walking around talking about, well, the law said on the fair trial, they don't know a damn thing they're talking about. These are field Negroes reporting narratives handed down to them by house Negroes. Jamaicans don't know a damn thing about anything, except who are breed for who and what the most hit song. The masses don't know nothing. Real information is kept throughout history, real information is held by a minority. A little bit get trickled out and go to the masses. The masses don't know a damn thing. At one point, the masses thought people used to walk around confidently telling you that the world was flat like a bread. There was a time when the whole world walked around saying the world was flat like a bread. Then them say, oh well, now the world shaped like an egg. In 50 years time, we got used to the world shaped like a triangle. Who knows? This is why I make it my duty. Every time I hear something, I'm going to reach where this come from. This is why enough things I said to you sound so weird. And you're like, yeah, but this King's Council and this scholar said so and so. So who do you think you are? Who do I think I am? Somebody with more on a brain. That's who I think I am. So people are challenging me with narratives handed down to them by somebody else. At least do your own research, then come do battle. But you're trying to do battle with somebody else's information? With some house Negro narrative? Check it now, man. 200 countries in the world, I'm sure only the one of them is still our Privy Council. The majority of them are where? In the Caribbean. I'm sure only the 6 papi show them. The only other place, them, one little place, we out in the Pacific, nobody's ever heard of that place. Kiribati and them place there. That's it. The rest of the place, them are British overseas territory. England place them. You have a local country called Mauritius, but if there's no country, you can't show me no Asian country, no Arab country. Nobody believes this. Nobody thinks the British Council should be them final court. Except the 6 papi show them really. And out of the 6, Jamaica is the worst. Come to Jamaica and have show feet. Need visa for look for them daddy. All that I'm give you now a while ago is just building up. To walk up now with one particular group of Europeans who drop an Iron Man, the Germans. Because around the time of the Slavery Compensation Act and the abolition of slavery, the Germans would start to arrive. Remember, slavery abolished now, so the plantation them still there and them still need people to work on them. Plus, there was also a concern that the newly freed slave now go off, go do them own thing and start take over land over here, and start take over land over here, so can't have that happening. So, Bakra formulated a plan. They came up with a program. It's a long time. Jamaican establishment love them look a program, let me know a program. This program was called the Bounted European Immigration. They will start to bring in Europeans now to start fill the gap over here and start making them work here and negotiate a little deal. After they don't work that time, you can get a little piece of land here and things like that. One of the biggest supporters of this was a backer by the name of Charles Ellis, aka Lord Seaford. By the way, if your last name is Ellis, then your people then probably trace back to Film Plantation. I'm telling you what they say, Jamaicans, we don't even know our real names. Them names our Jamaicans that walk around with can't be our real names, can't be our ancestor names. Right. My name should be something like Mbappe, or Drogba, or Mfufu, or something like so. Right. Your name should sound similar. And again, I'm talking about black Jamaicans. Based on where our ancestors come from. Right. Some of them last names just don't make sense. Right. A Bakra last name. Right. So Charles Ellis, aka Lord Seaford. Right. A big supporter of this. Speaking about Charles Ellis, Sam Sharp Rebellion, right, they do massive damage to his plantation back in the day, sugar plantation. Lost over 40,000 pounds sterling. Back then that was an extraordinary figure. The 1800s, 40,000 pounds? That would have been enough money now. Can you imagine then? Adjusted for inflation, that is about 3.5 million pounds today. Or 700 million Jamaican dollars to the plantation that alone. And if you wonder if the name Seaford sound familiar, if you about Seaford Town in Westmoreland, aka German Town, you see it's all coming together now. Now, enough people, enough of the plantation owners, they would start to bring in Europeans to fill the gap, so to speak. The Myers family, mainly a man by the name of Solomon Myers, Man, was one of the pioneers them for doing this. And again, you see the last name them, Myers. So if your last name is Myers, probably, man, you can trace yourself. Or trace the people them back to. Them people there. Matter of fact, when you check the records of the people them who they bring in the Germans them to help fill the gap on them plantations them all over Ireland, no found ever start soon the last name. As me say, I already hear about Ellis, Solomon Myers, Hamilton Brown, James Hilton, Samuel Anderson. I mean, enough of them last name, I know no Jamaicans right now. Hold on, that sound like me. That sound like my last name, that. They say last name them come from plantation owners. Enough of these names trace back to Scottish origins and British origins and all them things. And nobody will come from Western Africa, them days never name Anderson. Trust me. There was not one Anderson to come off of that they bought there. These Germans were far from rich. As you can imagine, to my Japan Ireland to go full rule left behind by slaves, you know, so we're not talking about rich people. Enough of them are poor people them. I know it's hard to imagine that there's something called poor Europeans, but yes. Not because somebody is white don't mean they're automatically wealthy. This is another mindset that has lingered in Ireland today. When Jamaican is somebody who is a white Jamaican, or even somebody who is of a much lighter complexion than them, they automatically assume that the person is super wealthy, and that's not the case at all. Not the case. So these Europeans struggled in the heat. The Ironman heat mashed them up. Why them just not build feet. Imagine a man there in Munich or Bremen and them place there. And the next thing him the Ironman, son a beat out him backside, him don't even know who did himself. Some of them left to work. As they reach, they left to work. Gone about them business. And for them to go on to settle all over Ireland. Not just the place for them originally land. In Germany, these people were at the bottom of the social ladder for the most part. Essentially, as far as Germany was concerned, they were nobodies. But in Jamaica, they were definitely somebody. They quickly got elevated to a perceived high-value status. This status was perceived by the local blacks who saw them as a prize because of their features. The blonde hair and blue eyes and things like that. The German man who in his homeland was hardly a sex symbol suddenly became very desired. So the mental damage was done. Baccarat was now the standard of beauty. European features were the standard of beauty. And of course, as you know, over time, there'd be other Germans and Europeans who visit Ireland. None of them wouldn't even stay. Just visit and pass through and gone. Then pass through and found a great-grandmother and great-great-grandmother, trust me. Still a pass through. Many Jamaicans wanted to mate with the Germans back then. If you sit down and reason with the right people, them in St. Elizabeth and certain part of Western, let me tell you, say, enough Jamaican women who go hang out at the local spots, them know the Germans. And push at themselves on them, they want to breed. Some of them would even carry their daughters to go get breed by these Germans. See, German semen was in high demand. This is how the deadbeat dad come about. None of them never even realized the German man who them allied them with was as poor as them. You know, a lot of these descendants of these Germans to this day stuck in abject poverty. To this day. And they were so poor back then as them still poor now. But people think it's something like one. Enough Jamaican girl clown even see them woman come home with baby. Baby born. And baby come home with baby have all blue eyes. Patsy, what kind of blue eye pitting this? Oh, Billy Joe raped me. Oh, that damn Billy Joe. Enough time it wasn't rape. But the uncomfortable truth is, while there were cases of rape, I imagine, because, I'm not sorry for no German man like that. We now know a lot of it was consensual because they wanted those features. Think about it, that would have to be one of the largest mass rape in Jamaican history. And all their sons and brothers and fathers and friends and neighbors would have to just sit down and watch these German men walk through Ireland and just randomly rape people. So, and now to them. To make matters worse, they told these children, as in the children they had with the Germans, don't mix with the blackies. Doesn't make sense, would it? Why would rape victims create an exclusive group of children born from rape? Think about it now. Don't deal with them dirty nigga whatever they say, because they show them black and nail, picky, don't deal with them. Would that be the words of somebody who didn't want that child? Think about it. Yeah, that's what some of them start telling. Right, they put them. Now be come to them, dirty nigga they come here, Many of the German men who impregnated these Jamaican women, Jamaican black women, they have them wife, they have them German wife. On the surface, look like a family, man. Dozens of mixed babies are road. And don't even talk about the one that visit Ireland. And this is not just German, but Europeans in general. Now for them visit Ireland, breed up, come back on them ship. See you later. Au revoir. Ciao. Gone. Deadbeat. Surprisingly, we don't really hear Jamaican women passing the line and say, yo, them under deadbeat, because some of the women them believe the price of getting a German baby or a European baby was worth it. The Jamaican man who get the German woman pregnant can't run gun away, and say, because him died Jamaica. He never dock on a ship and then go back. Now for them man they who visit Jamaica know say, they never ever stay. And they know say, right. But them that do it woman, very likely to get them pregnant. Right. Enough people in Germany now don't even know they have lots of brothers and sisters in Jamaica. Enough Europeans don't know they have lots of brothers and sisters and relatives in Ireland right now to this day. They don't know, because as far as them concerned, daddy was a family man. Daddy was a deadbeat. Right. Not just the ones who settled in Ireland, but many of the visiting German men who just breed and bounce. Right. I guess that could be a dance. If Bogle was around, Bogle could create a dance. Like breed and bounce. Original deadbeat dance. Just like on the plantation, kind of sometime Bakra used to breed some of the female slaves. But for some women, as I say, getting the prize of a baby with German features was worth it. Because anything with too black no good. So, by reproducing with Bakra, it could fizzle out some of those features they hate so much. I'm saying I get real uncomfortable today now. Real uncomfortable. This attitude exists to this day, and if you really want, you can go study the whole history of the Germans and the Ironman. But my for one, most of it, as I say, is diluted and watered down and just over the surface. They're not going to them grimy details. I'm not going to tell them about the parts of, like, how, back with a deadbeat and woman used to go look for man for breed and all them things, like girl man, jacket, there's no way. Right. Winston could have that they put in there with them features there and tell them, say, I rate the man. All them things, they're not really finding part there. But the surface, everything you can find. I say the attitude exists to this day where black baby is not seen as pretty or as pretty as a baby with features more associated with Europeans. In 2024, you can still hear Jamaicans bragging about the 1% in them will come from another group or another ethnicity. If a Jamaican have 2% blood in them from a next ethnicity and 98% black, they will brag more about the 2%. Until they say the man a dirty nigger. They man a nigger because look on this. Look on this. They might have like 5 strands of hair in them head. We're straighter than the rest. And them say look on the look apart there. See? That shows me I don't like you, me a dirty nigger. Me a don't nigger like you, me mixed. If they have 1% of another ethnicity in them, they are more proud of that 1% than the 99% black. Because people have come to realize that you can get treated a little better depending on how you look and the features that you have, even though you're not the money. So this is why I'm telling you, say, when you love talk about money, when obsessed with money, and it's not just money, because Jamaican who look like Shabarangs can have $500 billion in my account, and when he walks into a building, he might not get the same treatment as somebody who look like, I don't know, Tom Tavares Finson and is dead broke. Jamaicans will automatically assume that the fairer skinned Jamaican is of a higher status and have more wealth. This is how you see enough youth start overcompensate. No one start to prove say them have it. Them buy all things them they need just to show say them have it. I try to look something what them say. Tom Tavares to get for free. I know how much money them spend, then I get it. That's what I'm telling you, wasting the time. You battle against 300, 400, 500 years of narrative and mindset. As Kanye West said, even if you win a Benz, I'm still just see you as a nigga in a coupe. I don't like nice things just like anybody else. Telling already some like car and everything, most of them like the Supra. 2 Jay-Z engine, I'm like fast car, I'm like car, look good and everything there. But I'm very aware that that is just materialistic thing. End of the day, if you buy them thing there, because you want to make people rate you and think say you're somebody, they save your money. Buy them thing there because you actually like them and want them. Trust me. When people have you off as nothing, but you buy now change their mind. And if them say them change their mind, it's not real, because if you lose that thing, you can back to square one. So, colonialism has done a number on us as a people. And just so we're clear, so I don't subscribe to the idea that this person is less black than that person. Or me see black or black. Sorry for break it to me. Whether you look like Chris Brown or Tanto Blacks, you're black. In the eyes of, if the KKK start roll out tomorrow and say I'm going to round up man for kill, I'm going to round up some niggas to kill, whether you look like Chris Brown or Tanto Blacks, you're dead anyway. So, when you can internally battle who better cause who dark and who light, wasting the time. As far as a white supremacist is concerned, black and nigger and nigger. You can have all the light skin or dark skin you want. You can straight like an arrow or curly, right, like spiritual ill. No make a difference. Here are some narratives that must die. Now listen to Jamaica, Caribbean, North America, the whole world for that matter. Telling your son or daughter so they mustn't bring in a dark skinned man or woman that come to their house because you don't know dirty nigga. That's extraordinary. People started this in 2024. Another one. Anything too black no good. That have to dead. That narrative must die. Until it dead, certain things can't change. Attaching black and ugly. That have to stop. How often you see people do this? How often you hear people use another race and ugly side by side? You don't really hear that. You hear black and ugly. Right? The biggest song say, in fact, black and ugly as ever. However, I still equate you down to the socks. You enough dancehall song and you hear it. The Beanie Man singing, some girl black and ugly, and this is something we do as a people, attach black and ugly. Which ties back to the fact that black is ugly. Right, that have to dead. Things like which feature are pretty and which feature are ugly. Right here, Jamaicans tell us that this, so you have pretty ear and you have ugly ear, them things not for dead. Here are ear and some ear that's different. Right, to this day, the whole hair matter, that's a whole different matter, because that right there so help how much races, how much other people get rich off of black people sake of this hair thing. That can get this entire video. But I'm telling you, say, it's not no case of no eye test. People are not using the eye test. People are just saying dark is ugly and light or white is pretty. One of the biggest examples of this is one of the worst backhanded diss they can give somebody. I'm going to finish the video after this because I don't want to drag it out too long. This, in my opinion, is one of the worst backhanded diss they can give somebody. Enough of these things start at the pitney level. When I put it down the pitney, say, yo, stop, say this, don't do this, and I said that we did off. But when I put it back in on the pitney level. But here is one of the worst backhanded diss they can give somebody, in my opinion. And them usually use it for women. She look good for a black girl. That right there, so. When statements like those die, then we can start taking it seriously, and Jamaica and certain countries can start develop and be seen as, where people start get looked on like people and treat like people, and society can develop better. When statements like that die, she look good for a black girl. That is what tell me say this is not the eye test. This is what tell me that it is ingrained in the conscious and the subconscious that black is ugly. And Billy Joe features equal pretty. Because nobody says she's pretty for a white girl. Nobody says she's pretty for a this and for that, but you hear it for black. In other words, black is not pretty, but that person is like the kind of like the exception, kinda. It's a backhanded compliment, and it have to stop and it have to dead. People say this to even women that are clearly in the upper echelons of beauty. I've heard people say this about Kelly Rowland. Oh, she's pretty for. Like, what does that mean for? There is no for. She's just pretty. Kelly Rowland is just that girl. She's just pretty like that. But they have to add on the for a dark skinned girl, for a black girl. So that show me say, it's not the eye test. Because your eye them I tell you say that person is attractive. But then your subconscious I say, yeah, but black so and skin dark so. For, and you add on the for. That's ridiculous. Somebody tell you say, you're smart for a Jamaican. That would be an insult. You're telling me that Jamaicans are generally fool, but you like kinda can get it because you're like kinda different. That's an insult. You've been insulting me. Nobody says you're smart for Singaporean. Because people assume Singaporeans have sense. We tell them, so the video uncomfortable, So nobody come get upset now. So when I not talk about deadbeat dad and who breed off who, I want to tell them daughter them, say, oh, don't talk to no black man just breed and go on by business. Tell them about Billy Joe to you. Just tell them about Billy Joe to. How much people in my road I suffer to this day. Jamaican women still tell them Pitney and them friend them to this day. They say, like European men and English men and German men are so romantic and nice. Like, say, them they get drunk and beat woman too. Right? This is like the brutish behavior like, exclusive of the Jamaican man. And it's because them pick the worst man. They pick the worst men, reproduce with them over and over, and then tell them daughter them say, yo, steer away from all Jamaica, man. Steer away from man and dirty nigga and black man and his money Pitney. Right? They're all getting pregnant for the same man, That's why you find say one acidic male can have all 50 baby mother, And Carlton can't find one. Anyway, Patreon squad, big up on yourself. Yeah, you don't know, more life. Vulture squad, see you circling. Bless.